It's a sad truth that when an animal becomes disabled, they are sometimes abandoned or even euthanized. However, what some see as a handicap can actually prove to be an asset in the right circumstances. And there are few better examples of this than Jessie the Wonder Cat. Jessie the Wonder Cat wasn't always differently abled. It was the result of a tragic injury. Although very little is known for certain about his earliest days, it's possible that he lived as a stray in Tennessee. Regardless, his way of life soon changed. Jessie was only 6 weeks old when he was found on the side of a road, and as a result of an unknown incident, he couldn't move his rear legs and had been left paralyzed. Fortunately, a kind-hearted stranger came across him and saved his life. The Good Samaritan bundled the tiny ball of fluff up and went looking for help. As it happened, they'd both found what they were looking for at the cat clinic of Chattanooga. After all, the veterinary team there agreed to take a look at Jessie. To begin with, the medical staff began exploring ways to restore the feeling in Jessie's legs. He had lots of physical therapy, electromuscle stimulation, and acupuncture, the clinic wrote on its website. But with those avenues exhausted, the staff eventually concluded that their efforts were in vain. But even though half of Jessie's body wasn't responding to treatment, that didn't necessarily mean that the cat's prospects were bleak. On the contrary, the staff saw plenty of encouraging signs as they observed Jessie. In fact, the cat clinic's assistant manager Jennifer Allen was pretty optimistic about his future. He was happy and he could eat on his own, Allen told the Dodo, and he wasn't in any pain. In addition, Jessie didn't seem to have any serious mobility troubles. He just dragged himself around on his fuzzy butt. At first, the clinic considered putting Jessie up for adoption. By the time he was healthy enough to be allowed to leave, though, the staff couldn't bear to part with him. And so it was that the cat clinic of Chattanooga took on the furriest member of their team. They hired me on as chief morale officer, the clinic wrote on its website on Jessie's behalf. I didn't have any job experience prior to that, but they didn't even have to train me. I just knew how to put a smile on everyone's face. Allen, who fell for Jess's charms the hardest, couldn't agree more. I became really bonded and attached, she later revealed. But he loves everybody and he makes so many people smile and laugh. It's such a fun work day because he's there. He became our little mascot, Allen added. As it happened, Jessie wasn't just good for the morale of the cat clinic staff. He also helped lift the spirits of its patients. With one cat in particular, though, he proved just how good he was at his job. A lady called us and said she had a paralyzed kitten whom someone had put in a box and left on her porch, Allen recalled. The woman in question had never heard of Jessie at the time she made her call, so it was just a happy coincidence that a cat in the same predicament as him was about to be brought into the clinic Jessie now called home. I happened to walk up front with Jessie on my arm right when she walked in, Allen continued. She said, "Hey, I'm the lady who called and I have a paralyzed cat." And I said, "So do we." She seemed so happy and excited. Under the circumstances, how could the cat clinic turn the new kitten down? The staff decided to make him a full-time resident alongside Jessie and call him Willie. Although Willie was also unable to walk, his paralysis turned out to be a result of a birth defect. But despite their similarities, silly Willie the super scooter didn't always get on with Jessie the Wonder Cat. At first, Jess's attempts to bond were met with resistance by the little kitten. Indeed, Willie would just spit and hiss at his paralyzed puss partner. Despite his best efforts, though, eventually Willie was unable to resist Jess's charms. It took less than a week, but Willie started to warm up to Jessie, and he started sitting on Jessie's bed with him, Allen recalled. They subsequently became the best of friends. In fact, Jessie seems to have been something of an inspiration to Willie, who was a different cat when he first arrived at the clinic. According to Allen, he used to be a scared and clingy kitty, but that all changed under Jess's influence. Willie also shares Jess's job at the cat clinic. Yes, he helps provide morale not just to the staff and feline patients, but also to their upset human families. Jessie is very compassionate when people here are sad, Allen reported to the Dodo. I've seen Jessie meowing outside the door of an exam room because he can hear people inside the room that are crying or upset, Allen added. Willie has, the same kind of compassion. He will approach people when they come out of the room to make them feel better. And despite their difficulties, Jesse and Willie have been given a chance of a good life, and they're living it to its fullest. I know they're probably not going to live to be 15-year-old cats, Alan explained, but we want them to be happy and healthy as long as we can keep them that way.
This story was really incredible, but you will like the next one more.
This little cat found shelter in a train station. 5 years later, she got the perfect promotion. Wouldn't it be great if your local train station had a resident cat? Well, for commuters and staff at one British station, that dream became a reality. Now, after years of loyal service, this cute Chew kitty has been given an important promotion. Felix was brought to Huddersfield Station in Yorkshire, UK way back in 2011. At just 9 weeks old, the little kitty had been adopted by station staff for one very good reason. A job, indeed, that she was born to do. The kitten was to become Huddersfield Station's best pest controller. Naturally, her job was to keep mice and rats at bay, but staff soon found that she had other talents too, as well as catching and deterring rodents from plaguing the platforms. Moreover, she was exceptional at scaring away pigeons. Before long then, she became a regular, if decidedly quirky, feature of the station. Unsurprisingly, station staff and train passengers fell totally in love with her, and taking Felix's important status into consideration, the first Trans-Pennine Express company began to make the station a little more cat-friendly. For example, to help out their paw singers coming and going through the station, the company had a Felix-sized cat flap installed next to the ticket barriers. Needless to say, it's a pretty cute touch. What's more, Felix even has her very own Facebook page. Adorably, she lists her personal interests as eating, sleeping, cuddling, scratching, tummy tickles, and cat treats. And it seems as if she has quite the personality online to boot. The station is looking remarkably pest-free, if I do say so myself. She have a human in charge of her Facebook account, posted to accompany a snap of the feline. Furthermore, some of her fans at the station even bring her toys and snacks. Many thanks to Althea and Patricia for their gift today, she wrote after she had received a pack of kitty treats. But undoubtedly, Felix's biggest moment came in February 2016, when she received a promotion. That's right, in honor of her 5 years of loyal service, Felix was made Huddersfield Station's senior pest controller. With the promotion then came a new uniform, and Felix can now be seen wandering around the station in a high-visibility vest complete with a personalized name badge. This kitty means business. Felix came to the station when she was 9 weeks old. 5 years ago, a spokesperson for First Trans-Pennine Express told the BBC in February 2016, "We haven't kept a mice tally, but we think she's caught 3 recently." And although she was already popular on Facebook before the promotion, with around 1,000 fans, news of her official title launched her to internet fame. Felix, in fact, quickly became a global phenomenon. After her promotion in February 2016, she started to even gain international publicity, though she was pretty casual about it. But given her admirable face and fantastic backstory, perhaps it was inevitable. Her story, moreover, captured the attention of media organizations across the globe. Felix was even featured in newspapers in Taiwan and Hong Kong. And her Facebook following exploded too. As of August 2016, Felix now entertains over 80,000 fans from all over the world. But she's not the only famous station cat out there. In Japan, for example, a stray cat called Tama was made a station master. She became a massive hit with tourists who flocked to see her, and her fame brought much-needed revenue to the railway company, which was struggling to stay afloat. In fact, Tama was so popular that when she died in June 2015, thousands of people attended her funeral. During the Shinto ceremony, the cat metaphorically transformed into a goddess. As for Felix, she still has a long road ahead of her in her new role, and every step she takes on her adventure through the station is precious. Indeed, in August 2016, she entered a 5-kilometer sponsored walk to raise money for a local children's charity. Conveniently, her step-by-step progress toward her goal is being recorded by a GPS tracking device in her collar. As of mid-August, then she was well underway, but there was still a long stretch to go. 5 kilometers, just over 3 miles, is a big distance when you have tiny legs.